Afternoon from Adam on Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts.
All right, Tuesday, Jalen Hurts sprained his shoulder late in the third quarter during the win over Chicago on this play where he's driven into the ground. He's got a sprained shoulder. He obviously will see how he's feeling this week, but there's a real possibility that Gardner Minshew will start on Saturday against the Dallas Cowboys.
What? I ain't bowing today. Steichen. Shane Steichen. I'ma be on your ass today. I'm gonna say this one more time in case y'all didn't hear me. Shane Steichen, I'ma be on your ass today. Before I do that, and major pause once again. Before we do that, welcome back to the Snake Eyes Eat the Dollar channel. Before we get started, I need y'all to do two things for me. I need y'all to like, more than that. Ugh. Like, comment, subscribe if I kick y'all ass and I'm just playing. I'm not playing about Shane Steichen though. Follow me on both of my social medias. My Twitter's gonna be snakeeyes_dollar. Dollar as in Dame Dollar. And Instagram is gonna be snakeeyes_W dollar. Okay? Now, I know I said that the next video about the Eagles is gonna come against the Dallas Cowboys, but there was so much shit that happened this game, even before this recent news that I literally just got about 20 minutes ago. I know it happened before, but I just found out about it 20 minutes ago. There's a lot of shit that happened this game that I would like to have a conversation about, and there's some things that kind of concern me. Even though we got the win, we're 13-1. I'm happy about that. We're about pretty much one step closer to not only clinching the NFC East, you know, and basically being the NFC winners and getting that divisional bye. So we obviously have to talk about Jalen Hurts. We have to start off that, okay? Now before I get into the shit that I found out 20 minutes ago, I want to talk about Jalen Hurts' performance. It wasn't good. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, at the end of the day, it hurts me like hell because Chris Sims and Micah Parsons was talking shit. And I'm not too mad about Micah Parsons because he's a rival. I expect him I don't expect him to talk about our team in a positive light. At the end of the day, he's a rival. Like, personally, why would I honestly give a shit? Why would I give a fuck about what a Cowboy think of our team? They're not supposed to think good things about our team. This is a big rivalry. I'm not even... To be honest, it's like, oh my God, like, obviously he's dead ass wrong, considering the fact that his own quarterback just last year had fucking Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb and had that whole defense, including your ass, on that team, and y'all didn't do shit. And then literally, you know, Dak forgot about that the referees have to touch the ball in order for you to hike it. Major pause. Anyway. So let's talk about Baker Mayfield, and then how he had fucking Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham and didn't do shit, and he obviously had Myles Garrett on that defense as well. So nobody talked shit about him, right? You remember the 2011-2012 Eagles, which unfortunately I wasn't a fan at that time. I became a fan during the Sam Bradford days, or really the Sam Bradford year. He was only really on the team for 1 year. Maybe two, but like when he was a full-time starter, it was only for 1 year under disgusting ass Chip Kelly. I mean, fucking terrible. I mean, this nigga just wasted all them years. But anyway, I wasn't a fan back then. I would think I was either a fucking Packers fan or a Saints fan. I don't even remember. But either way, you know, the Eagles had built themselves into a super team with Vic, McNabb.
What the hell did you just say?
Deshaun Jackson, and some other guys on both sides of the ball, but you know, obviously, and I think Asamoah, who's really good on the Raiders, but the scheming was a lot different, so he wasn't as successful. And then also we could talk about the fucking NBA, right? We could talk about the Clippers with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. How that's not going to be a dynasty whatsoever, right? And then some other ones off the top of my head that I remember, right? Miami Heat didn't win every fucking time they went to the finals with Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and LeBron James, right? So super team doesn't necessarily, in sports, you know, football, I just gave you like 2 or 3 examples. And even with, you know, basketball, it definitely doesn't work. So it's not about the fucking system, it's about the players that buy into the system, the players that, you know, the team chemistry. Do these guys gel with one another? Are these guys willing to make sacrifices? And I think the biggest thing about our team separates us from all the other teams is that everybody's willing to make sacrifices, right? Devontae Smith, at times, I know he'd be frustrated. I know Miles Sanders be frustrated, but both of them just act professional, and when they get their game. By the way, Devontae Smith had his game for 100%, but we'll talk about him later on. I know Miles Sanders be frustrated. We're going to talk about, like, Steichen, I'm going to be on your ass today. I swear to God, I'm going to be on your ass. Major pause, but I'm going to be on your fucking ass today. Because you pull some bullshit, and I'm on it. Bruh, I'm telling you right now. You pissed me the fuck off, but I'm going to try to hold off. So, wrapping up the Michael Parsons shit. Your own sport, your own fucking team, your own quarterback, and basketball showed you that the super team shit doesn't even matter. Right? And every quarterback needs a system. Everybody needs a system where, you know, the quarterback or whatever the personnel is on a particular team, what side of the ball, whatever, they have to scheme around the player's strengths. Just like Greg Roman is pretty much very run heavy because Lamar Jackson can run the ball a lot, right? You know, sometimes that works to the team's detriment to a certain extent if they happen to fall behind. But, you know, they have schemes in place in order for the team to be successful so that way they can better they can have plays that better suits the quarterbacks or the entire offenses or whatever side of the ball it is. The person that they have to... Matter of fact, this how fucking stupid the shit that he's saying. You operate under a fucking scheme. You operate under a scheme. So if there's no scheme, there's no Michael Parsons and whatever the fuck you be doing. Which you didn't do against us, might I add. Which, shout out to Dan Sileo, Lane Johnson did whoop your ass, and you really only got anything because, you really only got a little bit because Lane Johnson was injured. Trust and believe when I tell you. So, the argument that you're saying, obviously I'm not going to try to question your football expertise, but to say that, like, what you said was so fucking stupid. And Chris Sims, you little fucking reject ass, Woody looking motherfucker. Nobody gives a shit about your fucking opinion. Okay? I'm going to be straight up and honest with you. I like Joe Burrow. I like Joe Burrow from a rookie. You know, a lot of guys who have success in college, especially quarterbacks, especially SEC quarterbacks specifically, it doesn't translate to the league. Joe Burrow is probably the only person I know who had crazy success in the SEC as a quarterback and was able to translate that to the league. And obviously Jalen Hurts, but I'm talking about like major success. Like I'm talking about, like, you know, touted to be, okay, this guy is up next. And he's done wonderful. He scared me a little. Well, not me because I'm not a Bengals fan, whatever. But little bit of a Super Bowl hangover, but they're finally getting their shit together, and they just beat the shit out of Brady and the Buccaneers once again. They just took another L, and fucking Buccaneers gonna have a shitty record going to the playoffs because of how fucked the rules are. You know, if you win your division, it doesn't matter if you're fucking 4-12 or 0 or 1-15. If you won your division, you're in the playoffs, right? So, you know, it is what it is. But who gives a fuck about Chris Sims' opinion? You know, it doesn't make any sense. And at the end of the day, it's like, the things that Jalen Hurts is doing, it's not just the skill aspect, it's the leadership. He's stepping into being a leader, right? He's holding accountability. He's working his ass off. And now he's working his ass off. He's not just talking a whole lot of, you know, mumble jumble. He's actually backing up what the fuck he says. He's backing up that leadership and leading not just with his mouth, but by example. So at the end of the day, like, Michael Parsons, I'm not going to get too mad at you because I expect you to say shit like that because you're a rival. But Chris Sims, you can respectfully shut the fuck up. And nobody gives a shit about your opinion. Now, moving on from his irrelevant ass. We're going to talk about Shane Steichen. We're going to talk about Jalen Hurts. So, Jalen Hurts did not play great. You know, at the end of the day, like, again, I feel bad because people were shitting on him this whole week, trying to get him to focus on you know, the Cowboys game, and we still haven't finished off with the Bears, right? So it was annoying, right? And then I'm sure at the end of the day, you know, the first thing I thought to myself was like, he had to have had some of that outside noise affect him. Then again, I'm like, Jalen Hurts this whole season has been, you know, keeping a pretty level head and kind of leading by example and not showing too much emotion and, you know, doing what he's supposed to do as a leader. So I don't think he would, you know, go backwards off of what, you know, a couple of, one, a relevant ass nigga and another one who's going to say shit that doesn't benefit us because obviously he's a rival. He's a rival. It doesn't matter, right? So I would like, I'm kind of iffy because I'm like, the way he plays, he's definitely not on his game, right? So at the end of the day, it's like, I watched his interview. You know, he was borderline, like, I would say, like, I don't really give a shit, but what I took from it as is like, he doesn't dwell on that shit. Like, obviously he knows he's not supposed to be throwing interceptions. Obviously he knows he has to play better. And he talked about how it was cold and he couldn't feel his hands. So, you know, to a certain extent that actually makes sense, right? I can't 100% give him that excuse though. You kind of made it harder on yourself than it needed to be, right? I remember there was an all-out blitz on one play, and fucking Devontae Smith was sitting wide open in front of you. Like, it was an in route, he was sitting wide open, and you didn't throw on the ball. There's running backs that, you know, all year, and the same shit that I talked about in the Green Bay thing, when everybody was hyping up because, oh my god, he got all his rushing yards and shit, but like everybody neglected the fact that passing it wasn't where it needed to be. Right? It wasn't horrible, but I saw some things that I didn't really like out that Packers game as far as him passing the football. Obviously, these last couple games, he's just been, well, I think it's only one. I think the Giants game was after the Packers game. No. 2 games he's been on point. The Titans game was on point, and the Giants game he definitely both of those games he was definitely on point passing the football 100%. I'm not going to question that. But yeah, that Packers game that I did a video on, the same situation, right? And I talked about earlier this year. I don't remember which game it was, which game recap it was. If it's in one of my videos where I talked about how he kind of like he looks down the field too much. He doesn't always take what the defense gives him. Sometimes the running back will be wide open and he'll miss him. He'll miss those open reads because he just focused on the primary receivers too much, right? And then it's always about taking what the defense gives you. And sometimes I noticed often he didn't do that. And I also noted in one of my videos, it might have been a Lions game or something else, where like I feel like that, you know, he isn't 100%. I think what's missing out of Jalen Hurts' game right now, even though he damn near has pretty much everything sewn up in my opinion, he has almost everything sewn up, but this little thing is Patrick Mahomes has mastered throwing the football on the run. Jalen Hurts needs to do that. Jalen Hurts, you know, I think off his first interception that he threw, because I believe he had, I'm going to read off the stats because, you know, today's been a crazy day and I haven't remembered the stats. So he was 22 for 37, 315 yards, two interceptions, 17 carries, 61 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So the first interception I remember, it's like the previous throw he threw on a run and it was spot on. So then he tried to do the same shit again. I think the throw was to A.J. Brown and he completely underthrew the ball and he got intercepted. That was the first interception. And I'm like, yeah, this kind of confirmed what I said earlier about him. So I think the biggest, what needs to happen, like the next move forward for Jalen Hurts' game is, because a lot of the times when he rolls out or when he rolls laterally, when he's on a run, he's looking to run. So I think that the next step in his game to be 100, because right now he's 90-95% better than what he was last year. No question about it. He's definitely an MVP, not even MVP candidate. Fuck that. Even though he didn't show it last game, like he didn't show it against the Bears. Okay, he didn't do it. I'm not gonna lie and tell you that he did. He did not. Okay, so when it comes to that, it's like he needs to learn how to continue to develop that, right? He has a little bit of it, but right now, it's, in my opinion, his ability to throw on a run is, at least to me, that's still the weakest part of his game. I feel like that when he rolls out a lot and he's on a run, he's looking to run. He needs to learn how to, okay, when I'm running, when I'm on a run, I'm going to still look for open receivers. I'm still going to look to extend the play, not just with my legs, but actually finding those guys open down the field, looking to improvise through passing, right? I'd say for the most part he did a pretty good job of, because there's one criticism that I had, I think it was either the Packers game or some other video that I talked about, like he's too quick to bail out. He's too quick to run with a blitz car. I think he did a good job of, you know, I think he did a good job of picking up on the blitz, but his throwing was off. He was overthrowing a lot. Devontae Smith should have had a touchdown. He just completely overthrew him. And then the second interception that he threw was Quez Watkins, and it, you know, could Quez Watkins could have made that break a little bit early? Could he have ran his route a little faster? Absolutely. We're going to talk about Quez Watkins too in about a few minutes after I get on Steichen ass. But yeah, so instead of actually seeing Quez Watkins running that route, which I think it was like a post route or whatever, it was something like, I don't know what the fuck you call it. So it's supposed to be like, you're supposed to go straight ahead and you do a diagonal. I don't know if it's a post route or it's something. So instead of seeing him make the cut, he throws the ball way too fucking early. Because he wants Quez to, in his mind, he's like, okay, Quez guys has to make this cut, and he didn't do it, and that's how he threw the interception. So at the end of the day, do I believe? Am I going to give him the excuse that it was cold and he couldn't feel his hands? Yeah, but I'm not, because the problems that I've seen this in previous games when the weather wasn't as good, right? I don't think, you know, when it comes to the excessive overthrowing, he did that shit a lot last year. And that almost fucking, I mean, I was fucking heat. I'm like, yo, there's no way this nigga is literally reverting back to what the fuck he did last year, because one is a fucking rival, which his opinion doesn't fucking matter. He's never going to speak good about it. He's not supposed to. Another one is some irrelevant ass, bum ass reporter whose opinion, a fucking toddler scribbling on a goddamn I swear to God, a fucking toddler can dip their goddamn fingers and some marinara sauce and smear that shit all over the table, and it's worth more than fucking Chris Sims' opinion. But I don't want to talk about fucking Chris Sims. I moved on from that. I said what the fuck I said and I moved on. But at the end of the day, I can't give him the benefit of the doubt because he made it harder for himself when he didn't have to. Right? It's all about simplifying the game. I understand that you've developed to the point where, like, okay, if I see certain stuff in coverage, I'm going to attack it. Cool. But sometimes, and this is something that, like, Jalen Hurts needs to take a page out of what Trevor Lawrence is doing. Trevor Lawrence can throw that fucking football. But what Trevor Lawrence is really good at, what I've been noticing, especially on this run he's doing, he's taking what the fucking defense gives him. So if he sees a running back open, he's going to hit him. If he sees a tight end open, he's going to hit him, right? He's getting the ball out of his hands efficiently. He's finding an open guy. Like, sometimes it's good, like, okay, if I know what coverage they're playing, I see the opens. And other times, it's a good idea to just, you know what? They're blitzing. We haven't really got anything going on offense. Let me just take the easy shit. The good thing about Jalen Hurts is that he made up for it when it counted, right? Genius play by Steichen, by the way. A couple of times he did some genius plays. I'm going to talk about that. I'm kind of going to lead into Steichen, right? So the first play that he did was really smart. That like I got to give credit to Steichen for it. I got to give credit to Steichen for it. Can't fucking talk. So I got to give credit to Steichen because they were doing a blitz. And Steichen, I don't know how the fuck he saw this, but like he knew that the middle was going to be open. And so, you know, Bears did pretty much their all-out blitz. The middle was wide open, and Jalen Hurts, like, I think, like, ran it for like 20 to 25 yards and scored. Genius play by that. Another one was, I think sometime in the third or fourth quarter, we were backed up on our own end zone. I think it was after Kobe, just like, I'm going to talk about Kobe ass for maybe about 30 seconds, and I'm moving the fuck on, because he didn't do shit. It's not like he was ass, he just didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to talk about, whatever, moving on. But at the end of the day, so Steichen ran a smart play. This is the only screen pass, maybe one of the couple of screen passes that I actually thought, okay, this was a good play. So, back up in our own end zone, I forgot what the Bears were doing. But he did something where I think it almost ended up either being a sack or turnover or something. But he threw a screen pass to Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith was this close to getting hurt on one. I don't know if it was that play or something else. But It was really smart to run a screen pass to Devontae Smith and it ended up getting us out of the end zone into a first down. So credit to him for those 2 plays. We need to talk about Steichen. Because, so, shout out to Jalen Hurts for finishing the game strong. But this was not a good game for you. And I hate to be this guy because like you're the MVP this year. Okay, no question about it. It's not Mahomes, not Burrow, not Allen, whatever the fuck you want to put in. Even though Josh Allen, the last couple of weeks, he been back to doing what the fuck he's supposed to do, and Joe Burrow's been playing outstanding too. And then Tyreek Hill, I guess he's the MVP kid. Tyreek Hill's been playing like Tyreek Hill. That whole Dolphins team they're on point. I like Dolphins been losing some close. They're always competitive, but man, tough up Dolphins, right? So it's slow. So yeah, we're going to talk about Steichen. First off, Steichen. Okay, first off, I'm going to give you the news that I found out. So Jalen Hurts, it's a good chance he's not going to be playing. Not only against Dallas, which is a huge fight. It's literally the biggest fucking game of the year. He's not going to be playing against Dallas. And he might miss the next game after that too, which I think it's against the Saints, don't quote me. So he has a sprained shoulder. People were scared that he had a collarbone injury, but he was still able to throw the football. So I think it happened after like Gibson like landed on him or whatever. So Steichen, these are the questions I want to ask you because I'm going to give you your credit for some of the genius shit that you did draw up. But I also want to ask you this. Your running back is one of the best running backs in the league. And he's shown that. He showed it last game with the Giants. He had 8.5 yards per carry. Leads the league. Leads, not the fucking conference. Leads the league in yards per carry. Had 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. And you gave him 4 fucking carries in the first half. Explain to me how the fuck does that make sense? You give one of the best running backs in the league, a guy who had 144 fucking yards and 2 touchdowns, had 8.5 yards per carry. You gave him 4 carries, and you gave him only 11 carries. And then when you did when you did draw up some run plays, it was stupid ass ones. It was like the stupid ass RPO shit, right? Which is good. But it's not good because what you're doing is you're allowing the defense to get set. And that's why I think Jalen Hurts had to run the ball a lot of the times because the defensive end was crashing in. So he had to keep it a lot. So that's definitely your fucking fault right there. Not to mention, you come up with these long, stupid-ass draw plays that are not going to fool anybody. And the reason why they're not going to fool anybody is because you've literally been passing the whole fucking game. So why would the draw play work? It wouldn't. And then at the end of the day, everyone would say, well, Miles Sanders, I'm going to be honest with you. Miles Sanders fumbled the football, obviously. It wasn't his fault. It was a stupid ass. We're going to talk about the screen pass. But like the play, it was supposed to be a screen pass. It was a very, very bad play to begin with, right? The pass was too long. You know, Miles Sanders didn't have really any room to go catch the ball, turn it, and go make a play on it. The defender was right there. It's like, I can't blame Miles Sanders. It was a bad play. It just was a bad play. Unless you want to say, well, Miles Sanders, therefore he fumbles. No, it's a bad fucking play to begin with. I don't put that on Miles Sanders. I put that on Steichen. It's a bad fucking play. It was not a good play. Okay? So, speaking of bad plays, I also want to have a conversation about some of the stupid screen passes that you drew up. Okay, very stupid. When Quez Watkins was at his best last year, he wasn't doing a bunch of fucking screen passes. He was doing a lot of throws down the field, like a lot of intermediate to deep passes down the field to Quez Watkins. That's where he strives at. Not these little stupid ass screen passes that you keep overdoing. That is not fucking going to fool anyone. They really did it. Again, the Devontae Smith thing, credit. Like, great play. Fantastic. Excuse me. But at the same time, it's like, the majority of the shit that you was doing, it's just bad fucking play calling. And then, I mean, everybody want to say, well, you know, Jalen Hurts could have been at fault for, you know, him getting injured, about, you know, him running too much. But it really, I don't see it, because at the end of the day, one thing about Jalen Hurts, he's smart. A lot of the time, nine times out of 10, when he decides to, okay, it's a passing play and he decides to run the football, he doesn't get touched. He's going straight out of bounds. He's not trying to look. He's not trying to look to pick up extra yards, which, you know, Justin Fields almost got. They ended up scoring with David Montgomery, but Justin Fields, you know, stepped out of bounds and damn near. I mean, that shit was hideous. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I'm not gonna talk too bad about the defense today, but that shit was hideous. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So going back to the offense, too many stupid ass screen passes, and for the life of me, you tell me, like, everybody keep talking about, we need a power back, we need a power back, we need a power back. You tell me you can't fucking trust any of the running backs to get 1 yard? You can't trust a running back, any of your running backs to get 1 yard. And listen, okay, congratulations, you got a nice draw play that worked. But how many fucking draw plays are you going to run over and over again? This is not fucking Madden 2004 when you're playing with Michael Vick and you just fucking just do QB draw plays at any point in time. It doesn't work that way.
Dropping back to pass on first down. Pressure. Keeps it.
Because at the end of the day, you put him in line of fire. And you put him in line of fire and you got him fucking injured. I don't blame Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts knows how to protect it. When he decides to run on his own, when it's a passing play, he decides to run on his own, he will go out of bounds. You keep doing the same shit over and over again, where he's literally getting fucking sandwiched in the middle by all these big ass defenders, and you got this man fucking injured. And you got him injured on the biggest fucking game of the year. So he's not even probably going to play that nor the next season. Now, here's the thing, okay? So Dallas, I wish I had put this shit on social media, because I would have been like, ha, I told y'all so. I had a feeling that the Jaguars were going to beat the Dallas Cowboys. So luckily the Jaguars did beat the Dallas Cowboys, the overrated ass team that really, you know, I really wanted their confidence to be all the way up so that we can beat them, but, you know, it happened to be good time, because now Jalen Hurts is a good chance he might not play. Now, he's not out completely, but he's either doubtful or questionable. Like, however you want to put that is up to y'all. But it's a good chance he's not going to play for the next 2 weeks. Thank you so much, Steichen. Thank you so very fucking much. Thank you so much for not knowing that a fucking running back's job is to carry the ball for you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Fucking thank you. Thank you so much for getting Jalen Hurts injured on the biggest fucking game of the season, where literally if we beat the Cowboys, I'm not saying Minshew isn't good enough. Minshew could start on a few teams in this league. But it would be nice to have our fucking quarterback play against our biggest rival in the biggest game of the year on Christmas Eve. It would have been nice. Right? Especially with all the shit everybody talking, it would have been nice. And forget about all the shit everybody, Mike Parsons was talking, whatever. It just would have been nice to have him play. But thank you so much for fucking that up. Here's how I feel about the situation really quickly. And you know what's funny? A couple weeks ago, I watched, shout out to Microphone. He did a documentary about Andrew Luck's career. It was like I forgot how many minutes was. Whatever. I said hours. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But anyway, and that shit kind of like, it kind of had me sad. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie to you. You need to do what's in the best interest of his health. So obviously Jalen Hurts want to go out there and play. I think all Eagles fans want to see him go out there and go play and go beat the Cowboys' ass. But at the same time, it's like, you got to think about this long term. Right? We can let him out there. We're not going to do what the fuck Brandon Staley did with fucking Justin Herbert and leave him out there even though his ribs is fucked up. We're not doing that shit, okay? We're not doing what the Dolphins did with Tua had concussion. We're not doing that shit, okay? Like, this is our guy, and we need to protect him. And sometimes we got to protect these players from themselves. And yes, I want to see him play. If like he's spraying shoulder, well, I want to see him go. Like he can still don't know. At the end of the day, whatever's in the best interest of his health. So if he's good to go by like say Friday or whatever, put him in. But if he's not, don't force his shit. It's going to fuck up my week. I'm going to be really, really sad. But it's not the end of the world. At the end of the day, because of what the Cowboys did, all we need to do is win one game out of the next 3. So I think we have our next 3 is going to be obviously the Cowboys Christmas Eve. It's going to be the Saints and then the Giants. So we win either of those 3, and now not only do we win the NFC East, we clinch the bye. So we get an automatic bye in the playoffs. Shout out to Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. Yeah, so A.J. Brown, huge game for him. 9 catches for 181 yards. Devontae Smith, 5 catches for 126 yards. Should have had a touchdown, but Hurts overthrew him. Another thing that really, like, I don't know why I say really like 3 times. Another thing that really helped us was Boston Scott getting that huge return, right? Because some Eagles fans, even I think Joey Shakes was a little bit concerned about how he wasn't doing. I'm like, kind of just got in, and it's not like he just like what fucking Coley doing, just letting the shit go to the touchback and just like gets out to the 10-15. He's getting like in between the 25 and 30 yard line, and he's done this before. So I'm like, you know what? Let's be patient. And like literally, I think the last couple, the Giants game and this game, he got some big returns. So I think that was very important in that momentum swing. So shout out to Boston Scott for that huge return. Britton Coley has now been demoted from being a crossing guard to literally bird watching.
Birding is one of the fastest growing hobbies around the world. Why? Because it's easy, fun, and a great way to get outside.
That's what the fuck he was doing. He would just we just watching the goddamn ball just roll out of bounds or roll to the 10 or the 5 yard line. That's all he was doing. But I'm not here to talk shit about Kobe because there's nothing really to talk about. This whole video would be a waste of time, right? Speaking of which, we signed Kern as a punter. I think we signed Anthony Harris, but I didn't see him, and we had Kevon Wallace instead. But we're going to talk about we'll wait to talk about Kevon Wallace when we approach defensive drill. Almost there. I think Kern should be our punter. He kicks the ball so much fucking better than he had one line drive, which is kind of weird, but overall, like Kern is so much better than Cephas. I'm sorry, like he definitely should stay up. I don't think it's going to happen. But like I would love for him to stay. I would love for Kern to stay our punter, right? We signed Anthony Harris, I think, but I didn't see him out there in the field. So I guess now is a good time to transition to the defense. Why not? Right? Defense played outstanding. They really did. At the end of the day, the touchdowns. Number one, Justin Fields didn't play like garbage. His offensive line was hot. His offensive line was ass. I mean, I listen. I'm an Eagles fan, and I enjoyed us, beating the shit out of Justin Fields and literally getting a sack damn near every fucking passing play. But at the same time, I kind of felt bad for him because number one, I actually like Justin Fields. I knew Justin Fields was going to be a special player when they got blown out by Alabama. And this is kind of a weird thing for me to say. Like, how the fuck you going to know a quarterback's good when they got blown out? Because it's how he responded to it. And I'm like, how he responded to it is that even though he's getting blown out, he kept fighting. Like, he stayed poised and he kept fighting. I'm like, this dude gonna be special. And then when I heard people say, well, okay, he needs to develop, his throwing thing, this, that, and the third, and I'm like, yeah, but I think the majority of it is offensive line is hot fucking garbage. The Bears have been literally trying to make big-ass trades and literally keep giving drafts away over and over again. And I think that that has hurt them long term as far as them. This year they're fine now because they're going to get like a top 3-ish draft pick. So they should be okay this year. And the Bears are going to have a lot of cap space. But, the question is who is going to want to play in Chicago, right? Who is going to be willing to get invested in going to Chicago, right? We got lucky and we got the players that we got, right? But who wants to play in Chicago? It's going to be an interesting offseason for the Bears, to say the least. Really, Fields' day wasn't bad. He really wasn't even fucking throw the ball in the air. But then again, I do blame a little bit of the play caller because if you know your offensive line is that bad and you know you're getting your ass whooped every fucking time. Our defensive linemen are literally beating your offensive linemen every fucking time you drop back to pass. Don't you want to try to draw in some quick passes? Don't you want to try to like take advantage of that? But at the same time, it's like, a lot of the sacks we were getting were not really off of blitzes. It was just basically our defensive line just beating the hell out of their offensive line. That's really what it was. Now, Gannon did run some blitzes. He did. And I think for the last 3-ish games, no. the last 3 games. Because I was thinking about the Green Bay, he did alright, but like, nah. I don't think Green Bay was like his best performance. But ever since Green Bay has happened, which is my last video, obviously. Ever since then, he's definitely stepped up as a defensive coordinator. Like, he's blitzing more. You know, he doesn't keep dropping guys back. You know, he doesn't have his linebackers, 7 to 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, defensive backs all the way back. He's actually blitzing. So kudos to him. And he doesn't keep putting Hassan Reddick back in coverage. So thank God for that. And it worked. Because shout out to 4 or 5 guys I would like to mention. Six guys I would like to mention, okay? First, I would like to start with Josh Sweat. Huge game, had 2 sacks. I just saw with Hassan Reddick. Had 2 sacks, I think a forced fumble. It was either, I think he had like half a forced fumble, but I'll credit him with the forced fumble, and he definitely recovered the fumble. Shout out to that. As far as the touchdowns are concerned, really quickly before I start giving the players their flowers, pause. Really, this shit fell. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, really the touchdown that Justin Fields got was off of missed sack opportunities. So, the first one, Hassan Reddick over-pursued him, which I think over-pursuing it's been an issue all year long. Like, we would get to the quarterback, like, especially Hargreaves was doing that shit a lot, and that pisses me off. I hate when we fucking over-pursue. We gotta be patient. So, the defensive line sometimes can get really, really impatient, and like we miss sack opportunities, and that angers the hell out of me. So Hassan Reddick missed a sack opportunity, but it was kind of hard because if he tried to pull him, it'd be horse collar. But he definitely should have made the sack. But that's the end of it. Then Sue missed a sack opportunity, and I don't know if they scored that play or they got in close position and they scored the next play. But either way, the touchdowns came off of missed sack opportunities. So one was off of Reddick, the other was off of Sue. Reddick played great, like I said before. 2 sacks, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery. He played outstanding. Hargreaves played outstanding. 2 sacks for him. Milton Williams had a clutch tackle. I don't remember if it was David Montgomery or Justin Fields, but they was dead about to run a touchdown, and Milton Williams saved the day. Kaiser White, I don't know if it was fucking Kaiser White on our team of Bobby Wagner. I mean, that man was a fucking tackling machine. He was making tackles all over the field. He had like 3 tackles and 3 assists. You know what's funny? Out of all the fucking stats, well, it's kind of simple because it's only tackles. Because I was about to say, like, the only, it's funny how I remember that, but I don't remember, like, the passing yards off the top of my head or the receiving yards for the receivers. But that's either here or there. Obviously, that's going to be easy because it's just tackles. So even though, like, the stats don't show Kaiser White was that nigga, bro, he was doing his best impersonation of Bobby Wagner. I got to tell you that right now. So shout out to Kaiser White. Had a huge game. Edwards played pretty good. But Kaiser White, that dude, he was a machine. And I dare a motherfucker to talk shit about Kavon Wallace. I dare him. 7 tackles, 1 for assists. Bro is B-Dog Jr. I'm telling you right now. Definitely not as good as in coverage. Or definitely not, they don't have the ball hawking skills like B-Dog. But when it comes to making them tackles and his physicality, he plays very old school. And I love every minute of it. Kavon Wallace was making plays. I like sometimes how he'll see certain stuff or he'll anticipate certain stuff and his instincts actually happen to be right. And when he follows his instincts on trying to go and converge, he actually ends up making a play. So, you know, people can say what they want, but Kavon Wallace kind of, because sometimes he'll cheat the play. So if he'll see something and he'll react off it, and it actually hit the fact that he had the wherewithal to react off it and utilize that IQ, he would make like a touchdown saving tackle or some shit. So shout out to Kavon Wallace. Nobody better not. So I better not hear them. I didn't watch Joey Shakes or Philly 500. I better not hear from any Eagles fan. That means from either Philly 500 or Joey Shakes or any of you, some of you delusional ass fans in the comments. I bet not hear you talk shit about not Kaiser White. Sorry, Kavon Wallace. Kavon Wallace played amazing. I don't want to hear shit. Like, get a man his credit. He played what he's supposed to. All right. I found it funny really quickly before I wrap up this bear shit. I found it pretty funny how so they asked the coach why they didn't allow because the dude missed. I think he missed the extra point. I completely fucking missed. He either missed a really easy field goal or an extra point. I don't remember. So it was on the 31. This is field goal range. Yes, it's windy and cold, but you know it's definitely makeable field goal. they chose to punt. And when they asked the coach why he decided to punt, he was like, it's out of his range with the whip. I thought that was complete bullshit. It was just trying to save face. They literally did not trust this man to make a field goal. I thought that shit was kind of funny. Alright. So that's pretty much it for the Bears game. This Dallas game is going to be fucking huge, but Jalen Hurts might not play. Obviously, we just got to do what we did the last game. Just make tackles. That's it. That's really what it boils down to. Make tackles. And Minshew, don't have to do anything that special. Just don't turn the ball over. That's pretty much it. Don't turn the ball over in the defense versus the last time. Just make the fucking tackle. That's it. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's all I got for you guys. I'm going to be kind of pissed off because I have to work on Christmas Eve when the Eagles and Cowboys are playing. I'm kind of a little bit upset, but I'll get over it, whatever. But yeah, they're playing. I'm going to miss the game. I have to record that shit on DVR and watch it after. So I might, because I don't like trying to be on my phone on the holidays, I might like talk about, I am going to make a video on it though, no matter what. I'm going to make a video on it. But as far as, me talking about it, you might get it like 2 days after I watch this shit. Because I don't know if I'm going to have time to watch it after I work or Christmas. So we'll see. Either way, I can't watch the game. I have to go to work. I have no choice. Well, I want to take a day off or I want to switch with somebody, but it's no way for that to happen, unfortunately. Whatever. It is what it is. I got a couple other videos planned. It's going to be I'm going to just tell y'all right off the bat. I'm going to spoil the shit. Basically, just like last year, I had a top 10 songs of the year. I'm going to have the top 5 albums. I did record it with my video, but I was fucking terrible. I was stuttering like a motherfucker. I was just kind of like, it was horrible. Like, it was not a good video. So I decided to give it to you guys in like more of a visual format. So hopefully that'll do the trick. Of content is content. I try to make it just as good as me having the camera in front of me. It just like the video was really bad, and I didn't feel like doing this shit like 10,000 times to get it right. It's just like, you know what, take the L and just make sure the visuals are really, stimulating. Pause. Once again, new song coming out this Friday. Again, it's a cover song. It's about Christmas. I'm not gonna tell you what the cover is, but y'all gonna enjoy it. It's only gonna be available for YouTube right now. I'm trying to get this streaming platform shit together, so when that's up on all streaming platforms, I'll let you know. For now, just to be on YouTube, so y'all will have the link, and it's coming out on midnight, so y'all be ready. And I'll be making the announcement like on social media on Tuesday, but I'm making an announcement on this video, right? Again, like I said before, 2 new videos will be coming out with this, and obviously the Dallas Cowboys will definitely be doing the video on, alright? Stream Road to XXL if y'all haven't. Brother got big dreams, I have a big bank account. Make sure y'all donate to the channel. Hit that link in the description, alright? Follow me with my social medias as always. Alright. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everybody. I'll see you guys again next week, covering the Dallas game. Alright. Once again, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all of that. Okay. Whatever holidays y'all celebrate, enjoy them. Alright. Enjoy them with your family. Stay safe these holidays. Alright. I'm out of here. And stay warm too, because it's gonna be cold as shit over here in Chicago. Alright. Peace. I'm out of here. Love y'all. Alright.